What's going on YouTube? So the Audi Q5 has long been one of the best-selling models in the Audi US lineup.
However, this segment is very competitive, and because of that, Audi has made a compelling list of changes for 2024.
So, what's new this year, and is this still a great luxury compact SUV choice? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So let's get things started here with our spec dump. Under the hood of this Audi Q5, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This is paired with a mild hybrid system, and total system output on this is 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque.
You have a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, standard quattro all-wheel drive, and as far as fuel economy, it comes in at 25 miles a gallon combined, which is a very good rating for this segment.
Now, of course, later on in this video, we're going to go out for an extensive test drive. We're going to show you the performance of this model. We're going to do things like get our signature sound level reading. That way you can compare this Audi Q5 to all the rivals at carconfections.com. But first, let's close up the hood and see if there's anything new to talk about with the exterior design. So getting started with the front of the exterior design, as you can see, you do continue to have that signature Audi look. You've got the single frame grille up here in the front. And overall, you have a pretty aggressive look, especially when you're choosing to have one of the black optic packages. And that's something I want to talk about for 2024, because the lower tier TFSI 40 models now have the availability to get the regular black optic package. And new for 2024, we have a black optic plus package for our 45 models. That's what we have here today. And as you can see, you're going to have the full black front, you're going to have black accents on the lower part, and there's going to be a lot more elements that I'll talk about throughout the rest of this review. Now, as we come over here to the headlights, of course, standard full LED headlights will be on board. This is the arrangement you'll get on most models, but if you choose the Prestige, you're going to get the upgraded Matrix LED headlights, and that's going to give you dynamic turn signals as well as animations. Now, walking around to the rear design, we continue with that signature Q5 look.
I honestly think it never ages. It just has that classy overall aesthetic to it. Now, Drew's going to go ahead and hop inside, because here at Car Confections, we like to test out all of the lighting elements to see if they're all LED. So as far as our brake light is concerned, we do have an LED brake light portion, an LED dynamic turn signal. I really like that cool swipe animation, and we do have an incandescent reverse light. So 2 out of 3 elements are LED on all Q5 models. I would really like for them to make this LED, though, to give all 3 elements as LED. Now, since we do have the black optic package, we have blacked out Audi rings. We also have the blacked out piece here in the middle, Q5 branding, and we're going to get this blacked out as well. So the entire lower diffuser is going to be a nice sporty black finish. We also do have dual trapezoidal exhaust outlets. And as far as your tow rating is concerned, it comes in at 4,400 pounds, which is one of the class leaders.
Now, as far as your wheels are concerned, you do have options ranging from 18, 19, and 20-inch options. This, with the Black Optic Plus package, is the wheel you're going to get. It is a 20-inch contrast alloy wheel with 5 spokes. I think it looks quite nice. It's also a really good wheel to show off the red brake calipers that are included in that same package. You have a subtle little S-line branding right there. And in terms of your mirrors, you're going to have standard blind spot monitoring and heating. Power folding and auto dimming will both be included, so long as you choose the Premium Plus trim level.
Now, here at the side of the Q5, nothing's going to change for 2024. And of course, if you have the Black Optic Plus package, you're going to have everything blacked out. As far as the overall vehicle length, it's 184.3 inches long. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, Audi's going to give you the vast majority of them as standard equipment, 3 out of 4 to be exact. And if you choose a Premium Plus trim level or above, you will also have adaptive cruise control with their traffic jam assistant, which is honestly better than most German rivals. But guys, let's go ahead and hop onto the inside, because there are some changes that we want to talk about there. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, let's go ahead and get inside. First, of course, we'll take a quick look at the key fob. This is your typical Audi key fob. As you can tell, nice look to this. You do have some metal and piano black trim on board. One thing I do want to point out for 2024 though is the fact that you can now remote start all Q5s via an Audi application. So that's something that is very beneficial on a super cold day like today. Now just reach behind the handle, that's going to unlock the door. And let's take a look inside the interior. Obviously big changes in terms of design are not really going to be happening, but we're going to have some subtle detail differences, which we'll talk about in a little bit. First though, material and color options. So we do have real leather. That's going to be included across the entire lineup. If you have a TFSI 45 model, you are going to get now a standard sport seat for 2024. So you'll notice that this has that kind of more aggressive look to it. So you have heavier bolsters, more dynamic stitching. You have 8 ways of power adjustment, 4-way lumbar support, and you also have a manual thigh extension. Overall, very nice and comfortable seat. And you've got 4 different colors you can choose from for those. Memory seats will be included on the Premium Plus and the Prestige trim levels. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now that we're fully inside, let's go through the rest of the cabin materials. On our door trim here, we do have a leatherette pad with a stitching detail. It is going to be padded in the center section and padded along the top as well. Across the upper dash, you're going to have a soft touch plastic. And through the center section, you're going to notice some aluminum trim. This is a silver trim that's included with the Black Optic Plus package. That's also going to be down here on the lower section. It has a cool texture to it. And then you have some piano black trim and leatherette along the console for your knees to rest against. Now we'll go ahead and fire it up with the push button start. Now let's go ahead and zero in on some of the individual features. We'll start off with the gauge cluster, of course. This is our 12.3-inch Audi virtual cockpit. A lot of you guys know about this, one of the original digital gauge clusters. Continues to be rocking on most versions of the Q5. And you do have a really nice look to this that you can reconfigure to a lot of different designs. If you want a head-up display, though, you will need to choose the Prestige trim level. As we pull back, we have rain-sensing wipers. We also have a nice perforated, leather-wrapped steering wheel. We got the specific S branding on this Black Optic Plus package. We also have a heated steering wheel. And in terms of your adjustment, this is going to be a power-adjusting steering wheel on the Premium Plus and the Prestige trim levels. Now let's go ahead and turn over here to interior storage. So first of all, we'll open up our center console. This is Car Confections after all. We like to do the donut test for obvious reasons. And you can see that we fit 5 donuts inside of this console because this is a, rather small console area. But I do want to point something out. When I take them out, you might notice this looks a little bit different in this area versus last year. Last year, you used to have this little sliding shelf over top of the cup holders. This year, that's been eliminated, and in exchange, our cup holders are a little bit deeper. I think that's a good idea. I also want to point out that we don't have a wireless phone charging pad anywhere in this vehicle. I'm not sure if that's something that's been eliminated. We didn't have any specific notes about it, but it's not in here, even though my notes say it should be. Now up in front of that, we have a little slot. You have another little piece and another piece to finish up your interior storage. Now, pulling back to the shifter, we have the typical electronic Audi shifter. Pull back for drive, bump to the right if you want to activate some manual shifts. You can also do that via these paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Going up into reverse, both Premium Plus and Prestige trims will give you this 360-degree camera system. As you can tell, we do have active trajectory and guidelines, as well as that nice overhead view. And just press the P for park. Right behind that, you have your electronic parking brake. Now off to the right-hand side of the shifter, you have a volume knob to control a couple different audio systems. Premium Plus and Prestige will come with the 755-watt 19-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. So let's go ahead and give that a sample. Yeah, overall sound quality of the system continues to be really top notch. All right, let's head up here to our climate controls. Now, of course, a lot of models in this segment have started to move towards a lot of touch capacitive and touchscreen climate controls. This has a refreshingly nice and physical setup. 3-zone automatic climate is standard on all versions, and like I said, really nice clicky feel to these knobs and metal toggles for all of your adjustments. Off to the side of that, we have standard 3-stage heated seats, and then you also have the availability of getting seat ventilation. Now let's rise up here to our display. So this is a 10.1-inch display. This style here is going to be standard on all versions, and it is going to be running Audi's MMI infotainment system. You've got all the latest features on board. You will have a built-in navigation system starting at Premium Plus trim level. Wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay will be standard on all trim levels. And then up top here we have an auto-dimming mirror. You have your home link remotes and also a compass. And then we have a nice panoramic sunroof on Premium Plus and Prestige models as standard equipment. As you can see, nice and large piece of glass. This goes all the way back, and then you also have a power sunshade.
Now let's go ahead and check out the Q5's rear seat. Now I want to go ahead and talk about space first because that's very important for a family luxury crossover like this. 38 inches of legroom, 39 inches of headroom. That does place it very much on par with the vast majority of the competition like Mercedes GLC and BMW X3. Now of course we don't just take Audi's measurements by word. We want to measure that ourselves. And with the seat adjusted to Drew, who's 5'8" and I'm 5'9", we're sitting at about 7 inches of knee space, which overall is very impressive. And I can also slide my feet up underneath of the seat. Now, as far as features are concerned, like Drew mentioned in the front, we do have standard vents. We also have standard 3-zone climate. So that means we'll be able to adjust our own temperature back here in the second row. We're additionally going to have 2 charging USB ports and a 12-volt outlet. I want to point out you will get heated rear seats. That would be standard equipment on the Prestige level. Now, as far as the center console area, we can pop that out and fit maybe a Dixie cup or a shot glass here in the rear seat. So if you want to be taking shots in the rear seat of the Audi Q5, has you covered. And then as far as the door trim is concerned, it's a nicely equipped one. You can get rear window sunshades on Prestige level once again. And then down at the very bottom, we have some door storage and a leather wrapped armrest portion. Now walking up to the Q5's tailgate, we do have a standard hands-free power tailgate across all trim levels. And as far as this space is concerned, we're sitting at about 25 cubic feet behind the second row of seats. And as we expand that out with the seats folded, it's sitting at about 54 cubic feet as a maximum. As far as how that compares to some of the rivals, it is going to be slightly less than X3 and GLC, but not by a substantial margin. It's very much class competitive. Now, I do want to point out a few different things. The seats do fold 40-20-40 split folding, so that's very nice. And Audi has included handles back here. So really, a lot of the rivals do not include handles to actually fold the seats down. So I do like that they're giving you that functionality, even though they didn't fold completely flat. And now that I've folded them completely flat and snapped them into place, let's go ahead and get our cargo length measure. So if you're looking to haul something specifically in the Q5, you can have that for your reference point. We're sitting at an overall cargo length figure of around 71 inches. As far as behind the second row seat, we're sitting at an overall length of about 38 inches. And then as far as the cargo width is concerned, it's actually going to be pretty wide. We're sitting at about 42 inches, and I say that might have something to do with the fact that we have a clamshell tailgate on this model. If we lift up the cargo floor, we do have a spare tire underneath of here, and you have a little bit of storage on the sides. Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2024 Audi Q5, and in this test drive we're going to be talking about quite a few different things, including getting that sound level reading. But first we're going to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
There's a quick shot of acceleration with this Q5.
Very quick.
Yeah, for us, you know, obviously we've been behind the wheel of many versions of this Q5 throughout this generation, but each time that we're in one of these, I think it surprises me just how quick, you know, your standard configuration is. It's not the SQ5, but this thing is really quite sharp.
Yeah, very punchy. For the average person just getting behind the wheel, you're going to be very impressed.
Yeah, obviously 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinders are a Volkswagen and Audi specialty, and this is a really good one paired with the mild hybrid system. To remind you, total output on this is 261 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. This is what's known as TFSI 45, so it's basically the higher output version. You can get one with a little less power, but it's, you know, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Now, as far as those numbers, I do want to point out that the TFSI 40 model that has 201 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque. So it's actually more substantial than you would think, the power difference between the 45 and the 40 model. I would recommend getting the 45, and if our dealer inventory is any indication, it seems like most people are opting for the TFSI 45 model. As far as the 0 to 60, you know, why it feels so spiffy, it's because it actually is spiffy. 5.7 seconds to 60 for the TFSI 40. If you choose or 45, excuse me, and if you choose the 40 model, it's coming in at 6.8 seconds. So about a second to 60 difference between the two models.
Yeah, even when you're accelerating more gingerly, you definitely notice all that torque. Let's talk about the other aspect of the powertrain, that is the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. This is a good dual-clutch. They've obviously done a great job with this. I think they make it nice and smooth around town. That's, you know, really important because this is not really a performance application, given that this is the standard version. You do want it to be smooth. It is still smooth, and it's also very snappy.
Yeah, and of course this is an Audi after all, so you do have standard quattro all-wheel drive, and like I mentioned at the spec dump, that does mean that for the TFSI 45, you only have one fuel economy figure since all-wheel drive is standard, and you're coming in at 23, 29, 25 miles a gallon combined, which is one of the class-leading fuel economies, 25 mpg out of something that goes 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. Very impressive fuel economy rating. And a lot of that does have to do with the fact that we do have a mild hybrid system on board. As Drew mentioned earlier, that does, of course, boost a little bit of performance, but mainly it powers advanced auto start stop, and the advanced auto start stop system helps boost your fuel economy.
Yeah, you might notice later on in this drive, as I come to a stop, it actually turns off the engine before you even come to a stop.
Yeah, and for those of you that really don't like auto start stop, the mild hybrid definitely smooths things out, so you're not really going to notice much going on whatsoever.
As we go around this sweeping corner here, I'm reminded that the chassis is nice and balanced as always with this Q5. Now, of course, in terms of the steering, it's going to be very lightweight. As I already mentioned, this is not the performance-oriented model. The SQ5 definitely dials things up substantially versus this one, which is going to be, you know, focused on luxury and comfort.
Yeah, and Drew mentioned there is the SQ5, and there's also a Q5 plug-in hybrid offering. If you want other engine choices, those will be covered in separate reviews. Now, hitting that bump there reminds me to talk about the ride quality for this Q5. Now, like we've mentioned numerous times, this is a comfort-oriented vehicle, and that does indeed translate to your ride quality. You have one of the best ride qualities in the entire segment. You hit a bump, it does a fantastic job of soaking it up, and we do even have the largest 20-inch alloy wheels on today's tester, so certainly you're going to be happy with the ride quality. If you want something a little sportier, you can get the SQ5. All right, and let's get our sound level reading going 55 miles per hour. 53.7 is our official Car Confections sound level reading, and that's going 55 miles per hour. And I'm not at all surprised by that sound level reading, because just sitting here soaking in the amount of noise coming into the cabin, it just seems so quiet. And we've been in lots of Audi Q5s in the past, and they always test very quietly, but we don't have to guess how it compares to that competition like the Mercedes GLC and BMW X3, because we can actually go on our own website, carconfections.com, and we've compiled all the vehicles that we've ever tested out on the channel and put our sound level readings on our website so we can actually see exactly how it compares to those rivals. So that is a very good sound level reading and actually puts it as the second quietest in the luxury compact segment that we've ever sampled out. It's slightly quieter than the 23 model that we tested out, and only slightly louder than the BMW X3. All right, now it's time to talk about our slam dunk and airball for the 24 Q5. What's our favorite element and our least favorite element? Drew, would you like to kick us off with the slam dunk?
So the slam dunk, we decided, is going to be the overall exterior look of this model. Basically, this is just one of those looks that I think has aged really, really gracefully. It's not crazy and in your face, but it's classy. It has enough sporty edge when you get the black optic package to look stylish still. And overall, like I said, it's been out for a little while, but it still looks sharp and fresh.
Yeah. As far as our airball is concerned, it is going to be certain elements of this interior. First and foremost, we have a problem with the storage. That's pretty much a problem in all Audis. The storage is just not great. Only being able to fit 5 donuts. Many of the competition will be able to fit a lot more things in the center console, and also some of the bits and pieces in this cabin certainly could use an update or be a little bit more luxurious, especially when you compare it to something like the new GLC that's out. Certainly you're going to notice a little bit of aging inside of this cabin. And lastly, as far as your warranty is concerned, you do have a 4-year 50,000 mile basic and powertrain warranty. Audi does not do complimentary maintenance.
And let's go ahead and talk pricing for the Q5. Now, I'll go ahead and mention this particular tester's price today. So we have the 24 model, we have the Premium Plus most of the options. We're sitting at about $58,495 as tested today. And as far as the rest of the Q5 lineup, this year we are going to see a price increase, but it's about only $500, so not much of an increase, which means that we start at $44,600 for a premium model, and the Prestige is around $55,000. Now, if you're looking to buy an Audi Q5 or any new vehicle, we want to remind you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. Additionally, it's going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation, and we can all save a few bucks nowadays. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description. And guys, that's going to be it for our in-depth review of the 2024 Audi Q5. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below, By subscribing, you help give us access to more vehicles like this, where we can provide you model year to model year changes and inform you of all of those necessary bits if you're looking to buy this vehicle. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.